Bentwood Flats was a fleeting stop, a cluster of 20 sagging buildings, half leaning like weary elders, the rest patched with brittle wood. A relentless wind carved through the streets, rattling loose shutters and kicking up dust. By dusk, folks hid indoors, lamps glowing, doors barred, ignoring the world outside. That's when she arrived. Mara stumbled into town, barefoot, heels cracked, toes raw from the cold. Her calico dress hung torn, slipping off bony shoulders, her wool shawl stiff with filth. Greasy hair clung to her face, her lips bled from days without water. She moved slowly, not from choice but exhaustion, her body a husk driven by instinct. Her eyes were hollow, her head bowed. Bentwood Flats was the last outpost before the land turned barren. If she didn't find food or shelter tonight, she wouldn't see tomorrow. Outside the general store, Will Crane balanced a sack of flour on his shoulder. He didn't turn away like others, nor did he stare. He just watched. In his late 30s, tall, broad-shouldered, his beard streaked gray, Will carried a limp from an old wound, a scar tugging at his shoulder. His faded shirt and cracked boots spoke of hard years. Once a feared bounty hunter, war and blood had emptied him. Now he tended goats, grew carrots, and avoided people. But trouble always found him. Mara stopped before him, chin low, voice brittle. "If you want me, I'll do anything. I just need bread, or somewhere warm. One night." The words cost her everything. Will tied the sack to his horse, clicked his tongue, and started down the trail. After a few steps, he glanced back. "You coming?" Her legs moved before her mind could argue. She followed. The ride was silent. Mara clung weakly to the saddle, too drained to fear falling. They passed gnarled trees and a charred wagon's bones. The wind sharpened as they left town. 20 minutes later, they reached Will's ranch, a sagging barn, broken fences, smoke curling from a crooked chimney. When he helped her down, her legs gave out. His rough, steady grip caught her arm, not cruel, just firm. Inside, the house smelled of wood smoke and dust. A cot, a table, shelves with jars, a steaming kettle. He pointed to the cot. "That's yours." He ladled soup into a tin bowl, tore off bread, and set it down. Mara ate, hands trembling, each bite a miracle she feared would vanish. Will washed at the basin, not hovering, not watching. When she finished, she whispered, "What do you want?" "Nothing," he said, drying his hands. "You offered. I didn't take it." She froze, unsure. He placed a quilt on the cot. "I sleep in the barn. Knock once if you need me." He stepped out, shutting the door. Mara sat, stunned. He hadn't touched her, asked her name, or locked the door. She pulled the quilt over her frail frame, its scent of hay and smoke wrapping her in calm. For the first time in weeks, she slept without fear. In the barn, Will rubbed his aching leg. He told himself it was one night, maybe two. But her hollow eyes in that dusty street had already decided him. She stays. At dawn, Mara woke to faint embers in the stove. The quiet felt foreign, no shouts, no fists on doors. Her body ached, but her mind was still. She splashed water on her face and waited by the stove, wary of what might be in daylight. He limped in, beard darker in the morning light, eyes steady. "Sleep all right?" She nodded. "Yes. Thank you." He studied her, then nodded. "I'll make coffee." Mara blinked at the normalcy. For the first time in years, she felt a flicker of safety. But as the wind howled, she wondered how long it could last. The fire warmed the house, steam from Mara's coffee curling against her face. It was her first taste in months, bitter but miraculous. Will ate oats in silence, his movements deliberate. Mara expected questions, where she'd come from, why she was so broken, but none came. He pushed his bowl aside. "You need shoes." Her eyes dropped. I don't have any. I know. He fetched scuffed boots from a closet, setting them by her chair. She stared, then asked, why help me? You were half dead. Couldn't walk past that. His voice was flat, honest. You don't know me. Name? Mara. Will. The silence softened, careful. By noon, he had her feeding goats, her arms shaking but uncomplaining. He showed her once, then let her work. The task grounded her, simple and real. That night, they ate stew, beans, onion, salt pork. Mara washed dishes without prompting. Will sharpened a tool, his limp worse in the cold. You don't ask questions, she said. Should I? Most men do. I'm not most men. She swallowed. Don't you wonder who I was? Sometimes. But you'll tell me when you're ready. Her chest tightened. You're the first who didn't demand my story before feeding me. I don't need a reason to be decent. His words hung heavy. Mara turned them over long after the fire dimmed. Days passed. Mara flinched less, moved steadier. She didn't startle when Will handed her tools. Her scars remained, but their sting dulled. One frosty morning, Will found tracks near the ridge, 2 horses, too close. His jaw tightened. Inside, Mara saw his face. What is it? Riders. Scouting. Her chest seized. Could it be him? Maybe. He was calm. We don't panic. We prepare. The house hardened. Will kept the rifle by the door, taught Mara to check it, to strike a match one-handed, to listen for the bell trap by the shed. She worked beside him, patching shutters, salting steps, chopping kindling until her arms burned. That night, snow falling, Mara sat by the stove. I used to think I'd run if I saw him again. Now I want him to see me standing. Will met her eyes. You're done letting people take from you. She nodded. Something unspoken shifted. They weren't just waiting. They were ready. Snow blanketed the ranch, the world silent but heavy. Will stood on the porch, rifle in hand, breath clouding. He hadn't slept, not from fear but anticipation. Mara stoked the stove inside, oats and coffee brewing. Her hands were steady now. They ate in focused silence, knowing today could bring trouble. By midday, hooves crunched through the snow. One rider. Will stepped outside, Mara behind him. The man wore a frayed gray coat, hat low, smile cruel. He reined in 15 feet away. She's still pretty. Wasn't sure what I'd find. Mara's jaw tightened. Leave. He sneered. You stole from me. I got papers. Your father owed. I paid. Will's voice cut sharp. Bring a sheriff. See if they back you. The man's eyes narrowed. You think this ends with words? It ends now, Will said. Ride out. Don't come back. The rider's gaze slid to Mara. He'll break. Men like him always do. Mara stepped forward. You broke long ago. Will didn't move, rifle steady but unraised. One chance. Go. The man spat, glared, then turned his horse, hooves fading into the trees. Will stood until the sound was gone, then turned to Mara. You all right? I'm not shaking. Good. Inside, no words of relief. They knew better. Mara wiped dishes, Will oiled a hinge. I thought I'd feel relief, she said. It's something else. What? Ownership. Like I chose what's next. You did. You didn't shoot him. Didn't need to. She nodded. You've changed. Because you stayed. Mara rested a hand on his scarred shoulder. He didn't flinch, his hand steady on her arm. No words were needed. They were two broken people, no longer needing to be fixed, just to stand together. Spring came slow, snow melting into streams. The air carried wet earth through open windows. Mara scattered feed for the goats, sleeves rolled, steps sure. She belonged. Will watched from the porch, knowing she was no guest, but his partner in a life he never expected. She approached. We should fix the roof before rain. Maybe paint the kitchen. He nodded. You're not leaving. I'm not, she said, simple and true. That evening, they sat on the porch, stars emerging. The air smelled of earth and smoke. Winter's slow, she said. But it goes, Will replied. In that quiet, under the vast western sky, two people, broken in different ways, found something beyond survival. Not escape, but home.